Ding, ding, ding. Welcome back, everybody. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood because we are back inside the infamous ring. I am Trey Amazing, your favorite part-time stripper, part-time pastor, but full-time dating commentator, and this is Ringside's very own Corner Confessions. Today inside the ring, we have an Atlanta influencer and celebrity photographer, Sigma slogging his way to success and stardom here in the A. He is the creative genius and founder of Majority Group Magazine, which for those who don't know, is an online magazine dedicated to highlighting the achievements of local Atlanta members of the Divine Nine fraternities and sororities. Ladies and gentlemen, regardless if you're Greek or not, he is definitely the man to follow and pay close attention to because his star is definitely on the rise and it is shining bright. Knuckle up, buckle up, representing Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, we have the one and only Antoinne Dwayne Jones. What's up, Taylor?
What's going on, my brother? How you doing today?
Man, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yes, it is.
Can't deny it, can't deny it. The sun is out. It's pretty, kind of chilly outside, but you know, we can work through that.
We're here.
You know what? I am really glad you are joining me. It is January, and you know, anybody that's familiar with Divine Nine knows, you know, this is the month of Founders Day. You know what I'm saying? And we just coincidentally, this is January 15th, and this is the founding day of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Big shout out to the elegant ladies of pink and green, doing their thing. So, you know, I'm always digging every January. But, you know, I'm really glad that you're joining me here on this stage today because, you know, as a dating commentator, I talk about these topics all the time, you know, dating, relationships, marriage, sex, all that.
Okay.
But also, you know, I'm an esteemed member of, you know, Divine Nine Organization. Big shout out to the Noops of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Anybody out there, you know, if you're in these streets and you're Greek and trying to date, you're going to come across some dating issues that are unique to you, unique to, you know, your organization. And, you know, because we're out here, we're dealing with people's perception of, you know, what it's like to be with someone Greek. You're dealing with stereotypes, so on and so forth. You know, and so before we officially begin, you know, just off the rip, I know you're currently in a relationship, but can you recall a time while dating that you had to, you know, deal with stereotypes that kind of, you know, hurt your dating life or hurt your relationship?
Well, I think that, you know, on a typical or stereotypical point, you know, fraternities have this dogmatic, you know, stereotype. Like, all guys in fraternities are not good. They all cheat. They all womanize and all that. So that's something that you automatically have to kind of break through. So it's like the trust level that you receive typically is lower than if you were just not of a fraternity, right? So there's always that one eye open like this. Is he going to talk to a whole bunch of females? Does he really want me? You know, and that just kind of starts the relationship off kind of slow to begin with.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel you know, and I agree. You know, I was telling someone, you know, a few weeks ago that, you know, I haven't made anybody in a long time, but, you know, I've made guys before, and, you know, one of the conversations I have with guys who, you know, just cross is just understand now that you have these letters is going to change your life, you know.
Right.
In some ways, you know, good, some ways great, other ways not so good. One of the ways it's going to change your life is how people view you,
right.
Even in terms of dating. You know, you're going to have to deal with people who are going to stereotype you. You've been in your fraternity for how many years?
So, in 3 months, it'll be 25 years, 25 years almost.
And so, from your experiences, you know, can you name a time in your organization, you know, what are some examples of good and bad stereotypes you've heard about dating someone Greek? Like, you know, what are some things that, you know, in terms of, you know, a non-Greek dating someone who's, you know, active or even inactive in their fraternity sorority, what are some stereotypes that you tend to hear?
Well, I mean, the number one for me is, because I'm both, so it's really like a double stereotype, but dating the Greek, to me, is almost like having a job and dating someone that's an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So that their scheduling or who they're around or what they're doing or how they navigate, because I mean, frat brothers might call, your sorority sister might call, they might need some help, or you might need to go to do some community service. Then you got a chapter meeting, then you got the state conference, regional conference, conclave. You know, so you are, you know, physically, mentally, financially committed to a whole nother thing as well. And a lot of people don't understand that commitment. The same as if you were an entrepreneur, when you have that, insomnia, you gotta stay up all night working on your grind and typing on the computer and emailing people and doing this and doing that and checking the books and editing and all this stuff. It's the same, almost the same level of commitment when you're a member of a fraternity, because you have to do a lot of this stuff. Chat to me, prepare your notes, look at the minutes from the last meeting, prepare the minutes, be on this committee, be on that committee, check at the bylaws, do this, do that, chapter meeting 3 hours, you know what I'm saying? Y'all getting into it, it's time to vote. Now you're an officer, now you have even more responsibility. So it's really just a commitment, mentally, financially, and it does take some time, so every person isn't always understandable of the time commitment and all the other commitments that you may have with it.
Isn't it fun typing up those meetings?
Man,
those meeting minutes.
look at reading over the financial report and just making sure everything is away. I mean, it's so much entailed with being a member of an organization.
Well, that kind of aligns with my next question in terms of, you talked about beliefs and stereotypes, but what about some straight up misconceptions? Because I know, as a Greek, as a Kappa, I've had to deal with that a lot. I mean, thankfully, I'm in a committed relationship that's going well. It's healthy, but I've been out there dating before, and I know what it's like to come across women who just straight up wouldn't date me. As soon as they find out, I'm a Kappa, they're like, well, Kappa's always cheap, you ain't faithful.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but he just met me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you don't know me from a can of paint, but because I'm a Kappa now, you've already assumed, like you said earlier, you're assuming I'm a womanizer, you're assuming, I got other women on the side, which isn't the case. But I've certainly dealt with that. I've dealt with the belief that, as Greek, y'all think y'all better than everybody else, or, y'all trying to be white, holding on to white men. But what are some misconceptions, you've heard that for a fact are just straight up bullshit?
Always people have that assumption that, oh man, you're Greek, you think you're better than everybody else, right? I don't get that, because even Atlanta, this is one of the cities with the most, black and brown people that, are highly educated. So we all have education. I have a degree, and most of the people that I know have a degree, whether they're in the fraternity or sorority or not. So how am I better? I made a commitment to serve the community. That's the ultimate, the ultimate glue of all of our organizations. If you didn't do that or make that decision, or couldn't make that decision, then that's totally up to you. But that doesn't make me feel like I'm better than anybody else, and that is an obvious stereotype. Almost every time, you think you're better? Oh, you're a fat boy. You think you're better than everybody else? It's like, nah, you don't think you're better than everybody else. I just think that I made a commitment on paper with other people to say, whatever I can do to make my community better, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, because it's certainly out there, and people have their perceptions that a lot of times you meet people, depending on their age, they may harken back to school days,
right?
Or they're younger than Stomp the Yard. They think, well, I saw that this is what y'all like in this movie. This is probably how y'all are in real life, so on and so forth. So okay, so check this out, man. I got a loaded question for you.
Okay.
But got a lot of context, so but I want your rawest answer, right?
Okay.
And this is for the couples out there, the mixed couples. One person's Greek, the other person isn't.
Right.
All right. So Boosie Badass wearing a Kappa T-shirt. Amanda Seals wearing AK colors and symbols in the show Insecure. To the story of the elementary school teacher who recently asked a student to remove her AK, this is a little girl. A teacher asked her to remove the AK shirt she was wearing. All these are examples of events that highlighted a stark dissonance in thought and reaction between Greeks and non-Greeks.
Right.
If you're in a relationship where one person is a member of the D9 organization and the other person isn't, and they find themselves at odds on how to handle incidents like this, what advice would you give couples on how to find a middle ground? Because for me, I've had this experience. You know what I'm saying? And when you're Greek, you're going to look at things like this, and you're gonna see, it's wrong, whatever. Case in point, with the Boosie Badass thing, he wore a Kappa t-shirt, and when you look in the comments, a lot of people, you can tell the people who are not familiar with Greek life, they were like, ain't nothing wrong with that. He spent his own money.
Right.
He didn't do anything wrong. If he bought the shirt, that's his shirt. Stark difference between people who are Greek, like, no, you shouldn't do that.
Right.
What advice would you give a couple where one person is like, no, wearing our paraphernalia is wrong, if you're not a member, whereas other people look at it like, well, you spent the money, y'all don't own those colors, anybody can buy it. What advice would you give a couple who, may be at their crossroads?
Well, it has little to do with the colors. I mean, every organization has paid members that went through a process to become a member, and those logos and letters and all those are a trademark. So it's not just like anybody could wear the color. I could wear blue and white all day. It's Crips out there that wearing blue and white. There's all kind of people wearing blue and white. But when you put specific blue and white with specifically Phi Beta Sigma, then it becomes, okay, now that's trademark infringement. But even with that, I would be offended if somebody wore Phi Beta Sigma that didn't earn it. But I wouldn't say I would be abrasive to them, because it not just feeds into the stereotype. So all you can do is train. All you can do is state your case. I'm not trying to take Phi Beta Sigma on somebody. Oh, take that shirt off. I mean, that's not my place. And that ultimately, what other websites out there that are looking for hot takes on, Greeks doing dumb stuff and Greeks acting a fool and all that. People with cell phones, they're just waiting on us to make a mistake anyway. So all I do is going to go downhill.
Good point.
Like the little girl, there's absolutely no way I'm taking a shirt off of a little girl. That may be that kid's only shirt. They may have found that shirt. They may have got it from the Goodwill, which that's on that AKA member's fault for sending it to the Goodwill in the first place. There's ways to get rid of paraphernalia, but a little kid, they don't know any difference. They're not even at a college level to have the understanding of our organizations just yet. So that little kid gets a pass. That may be her only shirt. The grown people, even they may not know the understandings of fraternity and sorority, because not everybody went to college, and people that went to college, not everybody was given the opportunity to understand or get into the process of what D9 Light was. So Boosie, whatever. Hey man, you can tell the dude and all that, and he can make himself look silly because everybody could be clowning him for being foolish because he's uninformed, or he was informed and he's trying to get some social media likes. Either way, I'm not giving him the energy, because that's not what we're about. We're definitely not going to put our organization in a liability standpoint because somebody wants to wear a shirt that they didn't earn. Big deals. Oh well. Thank you for the promo though. Y'all got some good promo out of that. Hey.
Oh yeah, we got good promo.
That works.
We got a lot of memes. I mean, the memes were endless.
That's perfect.
Yeah, because Boosie, Boosie caught flack because his brother's a Catholic.
Right.
Boosie, his brother pledged, I think, in Grambling or somewhere in Louisiana, but he did it again some months later. He was taking a picture wearing an Alpha Phi Alpha jacket.
Yeah, he just wants some. Hey man, people just do things for clicks now, and we got to understand that. So we're getting all infuriated. Oh my God, man, he's disrespecting us. No, when you're rich and you need to get some limelight, or you need to get some clicks, then you do something outrageous. Man, everybody, celebrities do that. Act a fool, do that, then they're back in the limelight, or they hit a car, or they break up with somebody, now they with somebody else. I mean, this is the world we live in. It's social media. People need that. It's like a drug. People need that attention. Some people do alcohol, drugs. Other people need that. Those
validation.
The validation is a drug. They just needed that FOMO. The fear of missing out. They need it.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, the Boosie thing, the Man Seals. I mean, these were things that set social media ablaze.
Now they're relevant for another 3 seconds. They get a couple clicks. Do a couple YouTube interviews. They get a couple dollars, and they're back where they need to be.
Exactly.
Big deal.
I definitely feel you on that, because you have to check your rage. I mean, I'm speaking for myself as well, because I definitely got upset with it and I saw it, and but the difference is with the Boosie situation, I declined to jump in those comments you know, I read all the comments, they were entertaining, but I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna voice my opinion, I'm not gonna jump in the comments, because folks are definitely, you know, it was some ill shit going on in those comments, very divisive, and but it was very eye-opening because it really gave me it was just another example of how people feel about us, because the level of, you know, stereotypes and, you know, derogatory statements people were making about us. I was like, okay,
but you have people that don't have a clue. So if you don't have a clue what the inner workings of an organization is, then you're gonna feel like it's elitist. So now you're already against it because you don't understand it. So you don't understand something, the first thing you do is bash it, right? I don't understand it, so I'm gonna bash it. Then you have the racial aspect, where people just don't like us black people doing great things anyway, so they're gonna bash that. And then you have people that didn't get in, they're gonna bash that. So you have all kind of people, and then you have people that are in that may have worked their tail off, got their grades right, or had to wait. They didn't even get in college. They had to wait to graduate chapter now they really savoring the fact that they worked their butt off to be in the organization that not everybody could be in. Not everybody's qualified, and not saying qualified on a personality standpoint, qualified through grades, qualified through work in the community, qualified through relationship building, qualified through doing amazing things on your job to be able to get into an organization. And now that you're in, you want to defend it. You want to herald and defend it even against the world, right? So now people are mad at you about that because, you know, would you let somebody just walk up into your house and go into your closet and try your clothes on? They don't got to be a Kappa or a Sigma shirt on. If somebody walked into your house and put your shirt on that you pay your hard money for, that you work hard for, you will be offended. There's no difference. There's no difference. Now, if somebody's wearing, you know, somebody just threw on Kobe Bryant jersey out of his closet, he's gonna be offended. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your property. You just didn't happen to buy that particular one. That's still your property. You're partial owner.
No, I agree. You know, I was breaking it down to somebody like, you know, we take, you know, special offense to that because, you know, to the outside world, they may or may not know if that person is a legitimate member, but that person, you know, who may not be a member, they put on the paraphernalia, go out here and do something stupid, do something illegal. The outside world is going to equate that to us. Like,
exactly.
Look at what they're doing.
Right. So you have to speak up. You have to say, hey, this guy is not a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. Period. He did not earn that. So whatever he does, that's on him. But that doesn't reflect on us, because if anything goes wrong, people are just waiting with their phone, with their cameras, with everything to say, look what those D9 people did. They always doing something crazy. They always beating up on people. All they do is jump around the parties, when that is literally not the case. All of them built on service and scholarship. So yeah. So
I mean, you know, you bring up a great point. Well, I have a last question, but then you said something that just kind of prompted another question when you mentioned the word elitist. Because, you know, I think we've all seen that, you know, some people, you know, are disinterested in dating Greek because they feel like, you know, we're elitists, or they feel like we turn our noses up, you know, at non-Greeks, which I know for me is the case. I'm not saying that's not the reality for some people out here, because you do, let's be honest, I mean, some Greeks are elitists, you know, and it, you know, it could be a stereotype, and I know that's something that, you know, a lot of people have to deal with, and they have to try to disprove, because again, it can show up in dating. You know I've certainly had the experience of talking with a young lady, and then as soon as she finds out I'm in a fraternity, just see the switch in her. You know, sometimes it's a good switch, or like, oh, you're a noob, but then other times like, oh, I know about y'all noobs. And I'm like, well, damn, okay, I guess this date is over. But check it, with all the spoken and unspoken rules surrounding, you know, things like our paraphernalia, you know, whether or not you can touch our bricks, our canes, our boots, you know, what advice would you give someone who isn't Greek and you know, about the do's and don'ts of dating a Greek, you know, in terms of, you know, like I said, you know, if they're interested, like, you know, can I wear your, you know, if I just want to go outside and walk the dog, or want to, you know, go to the middle, can I put on your jacket really quickly? Can I put on your hat? Can I touch your cane? Can I take a picture with your brick, stuff like that? These are, you know, these are questions I've heard people ask, you know. So what are, you know, some do's and don'ts? Somebody who, you know, they're in a relationship with someone in a fraternity or sorority, but they're not always sure about, those spoken, unspoken rules. What advice would you give?
I mean, it really is no different than anybody else. Is if you don't know, ask, right? So the number one thing that is universal in all relationships is love is an action word. It's not an expectation of me, right? So if I love you or I want to love you, then I'm going to learn how you want to be loved. It has no bearing on me at all. It's your responsibility to love me. It's my responsibility to love you the way that you want to be loved. So if I want to love you properly and I'm dating you properly, then I'm trying to do everything to learn about you. That would include your fraternity or sorority. So I will learn enough about you or ask enough questions to know not to step on their toes, or this is what I should do, or I should have an understanding that you have a meeting. I can't be privy to that information, right? This is the same if I was in the military and I had G14 classification. There's certain things you don't know, but you know that is important to the betterment of the relationship, the betterment of the world, the betterment of the community. So those are the things that you need to learn. It's not anything bad. It's not anything good. It's just general information that if I want to love you, I'm going to learn about you. Should I wear your jacket? Probably not, but guess what? If I'm a man and I'm out with my lady and she's cold, I'm gonna throw that jacket on her, right? I'm not gonna let you freeze because it got some letters on it. They're just letters, but are you gonna walk around stomping the yard in my jacket in the neighborhood? No, there's etiquette and there's things that you can and can't do, and those things are just for you to, if you don't know, ask. You can always do your homework, but the easiest way is to ask, so you know. Hey man, don't touch this. This is from my ceremony. This is amazing. This brick here is something that is very, very important and sentimental to me. Anybody else, this is a brick, but to me, this is like a wedding ring value. This is very important. This staff right here, this cane that I made when I was 20 years old is important to me. So we're gonna hang it over here, and I might take it out only once a year when I go to homecoming. Those are just conversations that you need to have, but just like that's not different in any relationship. You have things that you need to talk about. I used to drink. I don't drink anymore like that. So I'm not gonna actively bring you alcohol or drink alcohol around you all the time. But that's something that you don't like to do. I mean, that's biblical in a sense. I'm not gonna bring you down or bring your weakness around you when I'm supposed to care about you.
That's right. No, I love that. I love that response, especially, the word etiquette. And, again, no matter who you date, you need to get to know them, get to know their love language, get to know, what's important to them, what's not, and then, operate, appropriately. Because, a lot of us have been, I know for me, a lot of us have been in that position where you're dating someone. This is definitely true for me. This happened a couple years ago. You're dating someone who isn't Greek, and they're fascinated, they're curious, and then comes those questions. They start asking those questions that, about, okay, I can't answer. I can't tell you how many times, I've been around women, or I've been in a relationship with dated women, and they ask, what's Phi Nu Pi means? And they seriously want to know. They expect me to answer. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. Right. And then I've had that experience where that prompts an argument or a fight. How come you can't tell me? Why are you keeping secrets from me? How come I can't know? What does this mean? Or what does that mean? Right. Or, what does this mean when you do this? Because I've definitely had that experience of, it can cause a fight or an argument when you tell them, I can't tell you, or it's none of your business, or this is out of respect to every new living, dead, and yet to be born. I have to maintain this out of respect for my organization. Right. If you want to know, that's, first of all, you're not gonna know. If you're a woman, you can never play as careful. Right. Anybody else, if these dudes out here who are joking, whatever, I tell them, like, you want to know, get online, find out. Right. That's one way to find out.
That's our recruiting, man. It's always gonna be some recruiting. So yeah, I approach things a lot. Just because I had a tendency to be a little bit more fiery as a youngster, and now I'm getting a little bit of age on me. It's like the conversations aren't as sharp. So I want to know what Phi Beta Sigma means. Okay, under normal circumstances, if you were a man, then you can play a Phi Beta Sigma, and we could be bros for life, and I can tell you everything. But unfortunately, you're not. So there's really no way, because just the history of the organization, the what everything stands for. This information is in-house. So I'm not saying, oh, you can't know it, or this is a secret I can't tell you. More, this is what it is. You know, these organizations have been around, all of them at least 100 years, except for one so far, that were built on these principles. And this is the information that is only known to members. And that's it, you know, that's it. And typically that covers it. But if you want to know general information about fraternities or my fraternity, then by all means, I'm going to break it down to you. The 3 founders, Howard University, January 9th, what else, you know, blue and white, you know what I'm saying, the dove, all that good stuff. That, you know, I'll break you down the general information, but just understand that once we get to a certain point, that's information that's only privileged to members, similar to the military or the CIA or the, you know, or police force or SWAT, or, you know, this information that you don't know everything the president knows, but you do have an understanding that he's here to serve the United States of America in the best way that he knows how, and that's that.
I definitely feel you, man. I think that's a great answer. That's why I think this topic is important. I mean, because I know I've had this experience. I've witnessed other people going through this, and you know, it's definitely something out there. It's definitely something that it can affect a relationship if you know, it can get out of control if you don't handle it earlier. You know, if you don't handle it.
Yeah, you gotta be the one. I mean, you're the one in the organization. You're the one that experienced it before, so you have to be the one to kind of curb that and be, you know, forthcoming and really just approach it. I mean, these are the things that I do. These are the things that happen in the organization. The time, the mental, the financial aspects, all that. You need to explain that up front if they don't know about it.
So I'm talking about. Brother Jones, thank you so much. You have been awesome. But I can't let you go quite just yet. Before I let you go, please, for my subscribers, for the followers, you know, people out there watching this, you know, big shout out to the people in the Ringside Facebook group. If you're out there watching right now, if you're on Facebook, please go to that search bar, type in Ringside LLC, and request to join the private Facebook group, and either myself or one of the admins will admit you. For the subscribers, for the people who are going to be watching this, the people that want to follow your brand, you know, your shows, your podcasts, and want to know all about you because you provide us with great information, very impressive guests. You know, I thank you so much for joining my platform. For the people that want to follow you, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, so plethora of things, but I'll start here. Antoinne Dwayne Jones on all social media platforms. That's ANTOINNE DUANE Jones. So that's for photography and branding and marketing and content. And then Majority Greek or Majority Greek Magazine, Pearly Awards, which is our award show that's dedicated to Greeks, that goes along with the magazine Majority Greek, that focuses on Greeks and their lifestyles and their fashion and all that. And then last but not least, TV show that just started, Greedy Buzzards, where we were focused on Black and brown men, mental health, relationships, you know, food, and all the good stuff that goes along with being a Black and brown man. We're gonna do that on Greedy Buzzards, so check that out as well on IG.
I feel you, man. You know, and I typically, what I do, I let people know, look, I make it easy for you. I put all the information in the description, so all you gotta do is find it, click on it, and it'll take you straight there. So, you know, we take the hard work out the game. But Brother Jones, thank you so much. This has been an awesome interview.
Appreciate you.
You have provided some great information for the people out there. I hope people were taking notes. Yeah, and again, this is a fortuitous event because, again, this is January. You know, very important month for the people out there. Like when January rolls around, your timeline will be flooded with colors and everything. So, you know, it is what it is. Big shout out to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Enjoy your weekend, ladies. You know, don't tear the city up too much.
Right.
But with that being said, thank you so much. This has been Ringside's Corner Confessions, and I'm out.